Shalom Akim, giving all praises, honor, and glorification to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachai Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to the elect. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 62, and verse 4. They only consult to cast him down from his excellency. They delight in lies, they bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly. Salah. Right, so the heathen only consult to cast down the nation of Israel from its excellency. This is a conspiracy. Let's look up the word conspiracy in the online etymology. Okay, because the nation of Israel has always been under a conspiracy. We have always been conspired against. To conspire, aspire, or plan maliciously, or agree together to commit a criminal or reprehensible act. So from the Latin, conspirare is to agree, unite, plot. Literally, to breathe together. From assimilated form of come, which is the first part of the word conspire, come, with, together. Conspire, to breathe. So it's the conspire is to breathe together, to agree, to unite. All right, so they come together to plan maliciously, to agree to commit a criminal or any act that is going to abase another, which in this case is the nation of Israel. So once again, the nation of Israel has always been under a conspiracy at the hands of the heathen, starting with the Edomites. Okay. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 83. And let's read an example of the heathen conspiring, meaning to unite together to plan maliciously against the nation of Israel. This is Psalms 83, and verse 1. A song or psalm of Asaph. Keep not thou silence, O power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. Let's look up the word tumult real quick. They make a tumult. So, a commotion, a disorder, right? Because the order is that the nation of Israel is in rulership, but they're into disorder, disturbance. Okay, so they disturb, they make a commotion, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head, meaning they've come proudly against the Lord and against his anointed. It says they have taken crafty counsel, right? That's to unite together, to breathe together for malicious intents. They have taken crafty counsel together against thy people. Who's thy people? The nation of Israel is the Lord's people. And consulted against thy hidden ones. How do we know? That the nation of Israel is the Lord's portion? Well, let's look it up. Slovakia. All right, you know what? Slovakia. Let's just go to the precept in mind, but let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy power. The Lord thy power, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Okay? Speaking of the nation of Israel. Okay? Well, real quick, Psalms. Let's go to Psalms 147 and verse 19. It says, he sheweth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He hath not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord. All right. So the nation of Israel belongs to Yahweh Hashem Yahshua. That's his portion, and he is our portion. Yahweh Hashem Yahshua is our portion. Okay. Real quick. Okay. This is the book of Sirach. Book of Sirach, chapter 17 and verse 17. It reads here, for in the division of the nations of the whole earth, he set a ruler over every people, but Israel is the Lord's portion. All right. Israel is Yahweh Hashem Yahshua's portion. Now let's go back to Psalms 83. Okay. It says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. Okay, the Israelites. Okay, these heathen nations have conspired against the Israelites. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. So that's a conspiracy. Okay, that's a conspiracy right there. Okay, for they have consulted together. They have consulted together. We just read the definition of to conspire is to unite together, to breathe together in order to do for malicious intents. Okay, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarenes, Gebal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre, Ashur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Selah. So this is a conspiracy against the nation of Israel to cut them off from being a nation. Okay? Psalms 62 and verse 4. They only consult to cast him down from his excellency. We read Deuteronomy 7 and 6. The nation of Israel is a holy people. Okay? Above all people that are upon the face of the earth. So the nation of Israel is set apart, okay, from all nations, right? But so, and that frustrates these other nations, okay? They only consult to cast him down from his excellency, okay? And this is the book of Psalms, chapter 2 and verse 1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? Let's look up the word rage in the Blue Letter Bible. Okay. Why do the heathen rage? And why do they imagine a vain thing? Okay. Well, because they only consult to cast them down, to cast the Israelites down from their excellency. All right. It says here. These heathens are through, man. All right, so bear with me. It's there's not the connection is not that good in this area. So Why do rage? Strong's H7283. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. To be in a tumult or commotion. Well, it says here to conspire, to plot. Okay, to plot, to conspire. So that's what they're doing. They're raging. When they're raging, they're plotting, they're conspiring against the nation of Israel. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed. All right, starting with our Lord Yahweh Shai, okay, which they conspired against him, okay. The Romans, okay, conspired against Yahweh Shai, okay. Even 2/3 of our people conspired against Yahweh Shai, starting with the chief priests, okay. All right. And they're listen, man. If you're not coming under the doctrine of Yahweh Shai, okay, you're like as a heathen, okay, and the Lord will not recognize you in the time of judgment. All right, these angels are not gonna set that tawad, that mark of exemption upon those that are estranged, those that are profane, I should say, outside of the temple. All right, those that are profane, they're not gonna be exempt from judgment, man. Okay, all right. Isaiah 8:20. To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it's because there is no light in them. And Yahweh Shai is that light. All right, they don't have Yahweh Shai in them, so therefore they're gonna perish, man. Okay, so it says here. I'm gonna read verse 2 again. The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cut away their cords from us. All right, so they're tired of being, they don't want to be under the rulership of the Israelites. They don't want to be under order. They want to stay in this order, okay? They don't want to follow the law, statutes, and commandments. They want to keep eating abominable food, keep committing adultery, keep, robbing, being hypocrites, doing people dirty, so on and so forth. All right, which the law was set up for justice, man. Okay, for every your neighbor, for you to treat your neighbor as you would like to be treated. Okay, as the brother always says, it was created so that you could display sympathy. Okay. All right. So, but these heathen, they don't want that. Verse 4: He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh; the Lord shall have them in derision. Right. So, unbeknownst to them, the Lord is gonna have the last word, man. That's why Psalms 32 says, not Psalms 32, so like Deuteronomy 32 and verse. Verse 29. Oh, that they were wise, that they understood this, that they will consider their latter end. Because the Lord's going to come with a heavy visitation, man. Okay? All right? Because of the controversy of Zion, what they have done against the Lord's anointed. The conspiracy that they've done against the Lord's anointed. All right? Even going back from the days of Egypt, and that's what we're going to visit as an example of a conspiracy against the nation of Israel. All right. This is Genesis. Not Genesis. Exodus. Exodus 1:1. Now these are the names of the children of Israel which came into Egypt. Every man in his household came with Jacob: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin, Dan, and Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. And all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls, for Joseph was in Egypt already. And Joseph died, and all his brethren, and all that generation. And the children of Israel were fruitful, and increased abundantly, and multiplied, and waxed exceeding mighty, and the land was filled with them. Now there arose a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. And he said unto his people, Behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. Therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens, and they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramses. So this is an example. This is the earliest example of a conspiracy against the nation of Israel. Okay, and this has gone since. Okay, numerous times have we went into slavery. Okay, nations conspiring against the nation of Israel. Okay. It says, verse 12, but the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew, and they were grieved because of the children of Israel, and the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor. And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage in mortar and in brick and in all manner of service in the field. All their service wherein they made them serve was with rigor. And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of the one was Shiphrah, and the name of the other Puah. And he said, When ye do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew woman, and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live. Right? So they were seeking to kill the Israelite man, because that's where generations are built, through the men, through the lineage of the men. Okay, because the man carries the seed. The word seed goes back to the Greek word sperma, which is sperm. So without the sperm, you can't conceive. Okay, you can't bring forth a seed. All right, so they knew this. So that's why they only consulted to cast him down from his excellency by destroying the man. Okay, I'm read verse 16 again. And he said, When ye do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew woman, and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live. But the midwives feared Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and did not as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men, children alive. And that's why, because all souls belong to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. We get a precept on that. Okay. Go to the book of Job. This is the book of Job, chapter 12, and verse 9. Who knoweth not in all these that the hand of the Lord hath wrought this, in whose hand is the soul of every living thing, and the breath of all mankind. So Yahweh Shem Yahshua controlleth all souls, man. Okay, so he did not suffer these women to commit this cruel act of killing the sons. Okay. All right. Verse 18, and the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said unto them, Why have ye done this thing, and have saved the men, children alive? And the midwives said unto Pharaoh, Because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, for they are lively and are delivered ere the midwives come in unto them. Therefore the Most High dealt well with the midwives, and the people multiplied and waxed very mighty. Koholayimla Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Okay, we have a power that fights for us. Okay, and it came to pass because the midwives feared Yahweh Shemi Shai that he made them houses. And Pharaoh charged all his people, saying, every son that is born ye shall cast into the river, and every daughter ye shall save alive. Shall save alive. So this is the first example of the conspiracy against the nation of Israel. Okay, and we're seeing right now how this devil is trying to is going to implement the market of the MOTB. Okay, which is similar to what they were trying to do in the time of what they did in the time of when the Greeks were in rulership under Antiochus. All right, and this is another example that we're going to visit. All right, so we're gonna wrap it up with that. The nation of Israel has always been under a conspiracy. Okay, Psalm 62:4. They only consult to cast him down from his excellency. They delight in lies. They bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly. Salah. All right. But through Yahweh Shemi Shai, the elect will be delivered. All right. So giving all praises, honor, and glorification to Yahweh, Ba'ashmi Shai, Ba'ashim Hakudash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. And shalom to the elect.